Hello YouTube, this is Crazy Cool New Yorker coming at you today. It's a beautiful day out. I'm just heading out, going for a little ride. The wife and the baby, they are out doing some shopping. My wife went to Trader Joe's to get some food, and I said, well, while you guys are gone, let me head on out and jump on the bike and do some exploring. She says she'll be back around 6, so we're going to try to sync up at the same time and both be back in the house around 6 o'clock. I figured I would touch on today. It's a little topic. I kind of briefed over it when I was talking on one of my previous blogs, and that is organic foods. You know, why we eat organic foods. I didn't go into the whole detail there, but I thought I would just ask the questions to you guys. How do you feel about organic food? Is it something that you think is just a hoax, or are you a good believer in it? Are you on the fence about it? Myself, you know, my wife and I, we been eating organic foods for I would say almost 10 years now. We kind of dabbled in it when we were dating, and unfortunately, you know, when an idea starts to present itself, everything is super expensive. But as time went on and more people got made aware of the situation, prices start to go down as more people started selling it. Now, the reason why I and my wife and my son, we eat organic food, is basically we're trying to eat how, as I stated before, our parents ate back in the days. See, everyone of yesterday were lucky. Everything wasn't as highly processed as it was or as it is today. You have food that is mass produced, and to make sure that it lasts longer on the shelf, they add chemicals to it. A lot of foods are high in sodium, which is really bad. I mean, if you're over the age of 27, it used to be if you're over the age of 30, but if you're over the age of 27, you really have to watch the salt intake these days, because of the fact that everything, and I mean everything that we eat, has salt in it. I mean, they even found out years ago that baby food had high amount of sodium in it. And there was this big push to get rid of it, and then all of a sudden the baby food companies were coming out with like no sodium, you know, and all this other stuff, which was sad. I mean, it's baby food, and babies really don't have a taste, but they were putting salt in it for taste, and an infant does not have taste, you know. So, or maybe they do. I could be wrong on that one, but usually they don't. You know, whatever you put in their mouth, they're just going to eat it up. So what was the need of having salt in baby food? And then they started changing it over with this very low sodium, and then it's no sodium at all, which is a good thing. So as I was saying, my wife and I, we do organics. We usually shop at Trader Joe's, and we do Adams and Stop and Shop. They do have a good selection of organic food there. And as I stated, you know, what we do is we try to eat as healthy as possible, because of all the foods, all the chemicals that they put in the food today. It's a lot. It's a lot of chemicals, and it really is slowly putting turmoil on your insides. I remember there was I'm sure we all ate it. The oodles of noodles. Back when I was in college, it was like 10 for $1. That thing was 10 for $1. You get the oodles of noodles with that little special seasoning pack, heated up in your hot water mug, that little tea kettle, or that one little hot pot that you was able to put in your room, and that was your lunch, your dinner, and everything else. I mean, Oodles and Noodles saved a lot of hungry kids back in the days. So my wife and I, we were watching a documentary on it, and it put Oodles and Noodles against regular fresh noodles, and the person ate it, and I guess they must have put a camera in like the person's stomach or whatever, and within 24 hours, the oodles and the fresh made noodles were gone, completely digested into the person's system, and it was a good thing. Then he ate the Oodles and Noodles, and of course it tastes great because you saw him eat it up. And 24 hours later, that same mass of Oodles and Noodles was still sitting in his stomach. I think it took 4 days. 4 days for that Oodles and Noodles to digest in his system. I was like, oh my goodness, like what are they putting in this in this food to make it that hard for the body to break it down? And then you start thinking about all the chemicals that they put into the food. I mean, you see all these people, unfortunately, all these sicknesses are popping up where kids are being born with these allergies and stuff like that. And and they're starting to find out, they're linking it back to foods. Like chicken. Like everybody loves chicken. But did you know that at one point they was pumping growth hormones into chicken so the breast would be more meatier and plump. And what was happening was it was making the young girls start to develop breasts sooner. So you had this 10, 11-year-old girl starting to develop, and she's walking around looking like a 16-year-old girl. And they actually found out that it was linked to this hormone that they were giving to chicken, that what they were introducing to chicken. So that really was an eye-opener for my wife and I at the time we were dating. And this was back in the 90s. That was really an eye-opener for us, and we started to change the way we eat. Now, it's very funny to say that once we started eating organic, when you taste something that is not organic, you start to taste the chemicals. I don't know how to say it, but like when I buy a steak, we buy grass-fed organic steak meat, but when we go to barbecues and stuff like that, and of course everybody wants, there's always a slice of steak that's being cooked and everything. Everybody wants a piece of steak, and you bite into the steak and you can taste the difference. I mean, you can taste the difference in the meat. Even the chicken, you can taste the difference in the meat. Lamb, I don't care what it is, you can taste the difference. If they are introducing some type of chemical in that animal, that chemical is being passed on to you and your kids. And sometimes the effects are not right away. That's the scary thing. The effects are those long-term effects. It's the delayed effects that we see popping up now. It's the different types of allergies popping up with kids that have peanut allergies. It's the, different types of sicknesses where they're naming new stuff because they've never seen it before. And it's being linked back to the foods that we eat that is not being produced properly in a safe manner. People are so quick to make a profit that they're cutting corners, and it's affecting us, the consumers. So that was like a huge red flag for me and my wife. So that's why we kind of eat organic. Some people look at us sideways when we say we do organic. We don't push our beliefs onto anybody. If you decide not to eat it, you don't have to. When you come to our house, we tell you, just to let you know this is organic. Don't be offended. And usually people say, man, this fruit is fresh, or this meat tastes really good. Where you get it? It's not where we got it. It's what's in it. It's just as natural as possible because it's organic, and that's what we like. And then a couple of our friends, they have switched over to eating organic as well because you can taste the difference. You're not feeling that funny after effect. I know one person whose son was having really bad food allergies, and she switched over. She was speaking to us, and my wife was saying, "Hey, you got to be careful what you're feeding him because a lot of times it's stuff that they put into it, and we don't know what it is, but he could be having a reaction to that." So she actually switched over, and her son got better, and that's a good thing. So I posed the question to you guys: what do you eat? How do you eat? Do you do organic, or do you just go out there and buy, what you buy? Not disrespecting you, not saying anything negative, but what do you eat? How do you eat? Do you try to eat as healthy as possible? Do you watch what you eat? Especially if you have high blood pressure, then you really should watch what you eat because that leads to all types of complications. So, I posed a question to you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I was just kind of gabbing along there, just clearing my mind. Thank you for watching. This is Crazy Cool New Yorker signing out. And remember, love what you ride and ride what you love. Thank you.